many years ago when the musical Hamilton came out, I was amazed by the number of students who wanted to perform it. And so I'm like, well, there's no arrangements out there yet for it, so I'll write one. And I thought I'd try to write it a lot like it was written, and I kind of forgot that that's for a professional level orchestra, and this is for 8th grade. So it turned out to be a little bit on the hard side, but that group stepped up and they did it. So I'm like, well, maybe another group could do it. And I didn't do it the next year, and I didn't do it the next year, or the next year, and I'm like, I'm waiting for a group that can do it, and I think this is the group that can do it, because this has been a really talented group. So we're going to bring out 4 vocalists and a piano player, and I'll get your mics and your keyboards working in just a second. And we're going to feature the band on a medley of songs from the great musical Hamilton.
Hi. Hey guys.
I'm going to bring Mr. Gable back up to the stage, and we're going to do a Latin number for you called Rumba de la Tumba. fourth graders, and we'd like to take a moment to do that right now. Before we do that, you might notice on the program there's a bunch of symbols next to many of the children's names. It makes it look like they're swearing or something. But that's all the groups that they participated in, and I tell you what, it's so cool to have these kids not only do band, but do all these other things. So just really, really great year of involvement and participation in the music and the arts. So we want to acknowledge a couple students right now. The first award I want to hand out is the Gina Ford Excellence in Music Award. Is Gina's family here tonight? I don't know if that's Gina was a music educator in our district for about 20 years. She started a year after me back in the late 1990s. And she taught band. She and I taught band here at West for a little over 20 years. Later on in her career, she taught orchestra as well, and she just did an awesome job at both, and she was just a wonderful human being and colleague. Gina Ford was diagnosed with cancer in her 40s, and had a short battle with cancer before she passed away, and I miss her every day. Her spirit lives on in this building, in our music department every day. And so we started this award in her name, and it goes to a student that is involved in both the band and the orchestra program. And this year, the kids vote on both these awards, by the way. And this year, we have a tie. So we have two recipients of the Gina Ford Award. And I'm going to hand the mic over to Mrs. Gable to announce the winners of the awards. We'd like these students to come on down.
Like Mr. Saunders said, this is in honor of Gina Ford, and I actually went to college with Gina. So I knew her as well, and then we kind of lost touch for a bit, and then shortly, the last couple years, I was able to reconnect with her a little bit. So this award means a lot to me as well. And there are two, like Mr. Saunders said, two recipients. And when I call your name, if you could come up here. Elena McGibbon. And our second recipient is Dorothy Riddle.
Our second award is our Jenna Paschke Excellence in Music Award. And Jenna was a student here of mine a few years back, and she played the clarinet. And I was like telling the story about Jenna that she would walk in every day and she'd say, "Good morning, Mr. Songer, how are you?" And then every day on her way out, she'd say to me, "Thank you for teaching me today, Mr. Songer." I mean, there's a lot of kind students in the world. Not many students do that every single day. Jenna passed away when she was in 8th grade, and it still breaks me. It's the saddest day of my career. Her spirit lives in my life every day. Her picture is still right above my desk. I think of Jenna every day. And every day I'm having a tough time, I think about how she would just tell me, "Mr. Sawyer, focus on the joy and just be happy. There's a lot of things to be happy about." So, Jenna's mom is here today, Holly Paschke. And I'd like to welcome Holly to come on up and say a few words about our beloved record.
Thank you, Mr. Songer. First, I want to say to the kids, what a great job you've done tonight. I love coming every year and listening to your music, and you're just awesome. Thank you. As Mr. Songer said, my name is Holly Paschke, and Jenna is my daughter. It's wonderful to see you all here tonight supporting your kids, and I'm really grateful to have a few moments to talk about the Jenna Paschke Excellence in Music Award. Every year, I am so overwhelmed and grateful that Mr. Songer created this award.
and gives it to a deserving band student. I see it as an opportunity to not only recognize the student, but also an opportunity to share Jenna's message, her legacy, and to remember her. So I just want to tell you a little bit about Jenna. Many of you, and probably most of you, don't know who Jenna was. And she was my youngest daughter. She, like Mr. Songer said, passed away of brain cancer on September 25th of 2018. She was 13 years old and in the 8th grade here at West. Jenna played the very same clarinet that her oldest sister played, and she loved it. She didn't practice a lot, but she loved it. She really did. She was a swimmer. She actually swam on the Chanhassen High School swim team as a 7th grader and an 8th grader. She absolutely loved swimming. She loved her friends. She loved her family. And she especially loved the very, very special camaraderie that she had with Mr. Songer and all of her bandmates. The Jenna Paschke Excellence in Music Award is based on who my daughter Jenna was as a person and a to-do list that her sister Jessica actually found hanging in her closet after she had died. We didn't know that she had this list, so it was kind of a surprise when it was found. And this is all she had on the list. It was 3 things, and it said, work hard, be nice, and give compliments. And like I said, we had no idea that she had this list, but she had it hanging in her closet, and apparently was using it to guide her in her daily life. And I'm standing here before you today to say that I'm so very proud of Jenna and how she chose to live. My hope is that all of you very young and aspiring musicians and all of the parents and grandparents, friends, aunts and uncles who are here tonight remember those 6 words that make up Jenna's list. I hope that you remember them and can implement them into your own lives, and that her legacy can live on through you. I hope that these 6 words have a big impact on you, and that you realize that you can make the world a better place by doing 3 simple things. Work hard, be nice, and give compliments. I am so proud to say that this award is being given to a student who has exemplified Jenna's list this year. So with that, Mr. Songer, with you.
I'm going to pass it on to Mrs. Gable.
Just down the road. The kids behind me are really amazing. I just want to say that really so many of them are just really, really amazing and awesome people. But there is one that stands above the rest. And I'm happy, pleased to present this to Abby Songer.
custodial staff, administration, staff here at Chaska MS West. It's a pleasure to come to work here every day. It's such a great community. And again, I know I mentioned at the dinner, but these kids are so fun. Mrs. Gable and I are going to miss them so much, but their journey is going to take them to extremely great places, whether it's musically or everything else they do. So one more round of applause to the 8th grade band. Back in February, we had the pleasure of having Justin Timberlake's Morton Line come out. It was so fun to have those guys out here touring with Justin. They played with Bruno Mars and Lady Gaga and all these other big names. And they actually listened to our warm-up and jumped in, and they were like, "This is so cool!" It was so neat to have these guys play along with. We were hoping JT would show up, but he couldn't make it. So, but still, it was great to have him out. So we thought we'd just do a little tribute to them. We'll close with Justin Timberlake's "Can't Stop the Feeling."